Do your kids think you're cool?
No. No. I mean, my daughter does Pilates with me every morning, so that's good. I'm not embarrassing. Although she said I make too many noises in Pilates. Like I get feedback. I feel like interiors is always, you sort of know the provenance of the marble or the wood. They talk about that. There's a lot of
importance placed on it. Yeah, people want to know.
They want to know where that wood is from. They want to know the glass or the tiles from Puglia. Yeah. It's part of it. Fashion could learn a lot from interiors in that sense. Like, where's the cashmere from? Where's the silk from? It should be part of the story of the garment.
I'm Elle Lovelock, Editor-in-Chief of Home Beautiful. Welcome to The Edit, where we bring you into beautiful homes with the people who create them. Today, I'm reconnecting with someone who has shaped the way I see fashion. Genevieve Smart built her career designing for icons like Zimmerman and Lisa Ho, as well as her own label, Ginger & Smart. Now her focus has shifted to collaborations that span industries from travel to hospitality and a beautiful partnership that brings fashion to a quintessentially Australian interiors brand. Genevieve and I get into how fashion influences interiors, but not necessarily in the way you might think, and how she relies on instinct to lead decisions in design, work, and relationships. Genevieve Smart, welcome to The Edit. It's so lovely having you here.
Thank you, Elle. It's great to be here in this really homely space, and thank you. I've never done a vlogcast before, so this is a new experience.
How exciting. Well, I hope it's a good one. I'll check at the end. We were chatting before about how our paths have crossed in the past. Yeah. So when I worked in the shops at Lisa Ho, you were the creative director?
Design director. I think that's what it was back then.
So I was wearing your fashions and admiring how you would put everything together. And then more recently, actually this morning, for listeners who aren't watching, I'm wearing a navy blazer. And this is not the navy blazer I wanted to wear. I wanted to wear one of my favourites, which is a vintage Ginger & Smart piece. But the collars and the elbows are so frayed. I thought I could take this out one more time. But then I went to put it on and saw that it had dried yogurt spilled all over the lining, courtesy of my 5-year-old.
Signs of life.
Definitely can't wear that. But I just think it's so lovely, isn't it? You can meet someone and have had a history that you're not really aware of.
I think that is sometimes a wonderful thing about fashion and design as well. There's all these sort of roads that kind of weave together, which is so lovely.
Absolutely. How did you start in fashion?
Gosh, well, I studied at the Fashion Design Studio, which is the fashion school that everyone goes to. Yeah. And I was interning actually for Zimmerman. So it was Nikki, Simone and I, just the three of us.
Wow.
In their little South Darling Street studio. And so Nikki and I would be upstairs, pattern making, smoking Alpine ciggies and just it was the three of us. I was still, and then, they offered me a job when I finished. So I sort of went straight from design school to working for them for 4 years maybe. So that was... Yeah, I've been lucky to have some pretty great female mentors in my life, and they were incredible, as sisters, and, they were still at the markets and up until I think it was their first show for Fashion Week at the first Fashion Week. So I was very fortunate to work with them for that time. And then I went to work. I went overseas and worked a bit over there. I lived in New York and then came back and worked for Lisa Ho for 6 or 7 years. Where I would have met you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was such a good time.
It's a good time in fashion, wasn't it? She had a brilliant business and, again, she was a great mentor for me and took a chance on me. I was so young, and so I'm really grateful to those women who have helped show me the path of the fashion industry at that time.
So you studied fashion in Sydney, but you didn't grow up here, or you weren't always...
No, I was born in Sydney and then my parents took my sister and I to live in the UK. So we lived there. I lived there till I was, I think, 6 or 7, and we lived in Cranley, which is in Surrey. Mm-hmm. So I guess I grew up there in those formative years of 6 months old to like
Yeah.
6. So, you know, that's where it was my first, I guess, experience of nature and smells and all the things that influence probably my work. I'm not sure. But so I had a really, what in my mind was pretty idyllic sort of childhood there.
Was it a real Beatrix Potter? You know, that's what the vision is to me. Was it like that?
Yeah, I certainly had a lot of Beatrix Potter, you know, plates and cups and all the other things around the home. My mum loved that, but yeah, it was. We lived in a really old sort of Tudor cottage, which was at the bottom of a hill where there was a colonel that lived in the big manor house in a wheelchair.
Wow.
I think he was back. My mum and dad used to take me up there on the weekends to see him. But yeah, my dad was. He still is like 6'2" or 3, so it was such a small ceiling in those Tudor cottages.
Yes.
He literally had to bend his head to walk around the house, and it was, you know, just the gorgeous black and white, you know, Tudor cottage with a little pig farm and apple trees. My dad was a book publisher and my mum was a book editor.
Okay.
So we didn't really have a TV just because we had a lot of books and Dad would be tapping on his typewriter and going into London for work. And so, yeah, I guess it was idyllic in that we didn't have screens or television or any of that. So we kind of got to create our own fun. But I think that's also why we live where we do in Avalon, because there's a feeling of a kind of a village and a community there too, and nature's really important there. So
tell us about where you live. If I were to come over on the weekend and I come to your front door, what does it look like? What's the first thing I would see as you open the door?
Well, you walk through, you know, like we've got a big hedge out the front, so it's like an archway to walk through it, like a hedge. So you sort of walk into a space.
I love a hedge, which I have said on this podcast before. Love a hedge.
Yeah, our hedge has become huge, but we sort of carved out this arch you walk through to get to the, you know, up the stairs to the door. So I think when you walk in the front door, the first thing you really see is the date palm of our neighbours sort of in the distance, because our house is sort of slightly elevated. So when you walk in, you just see open skies, a lot of like the tops of sort of green trees. But right across from the front door, you see this date palm in the distance. So it sort of frames the house. So I think in the daytime, beach house? It is. It was built in the 50s. Yeah. It was one, you know, and so it's one of those beach houses, but it's been renovated a few times since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see a lot of green and sky. If you come in the day, that's what you see. Yeah. Sort of your eye goes straight to that. I guess if you come in the evening, because we've got those partitions that separate areas, you sort of might see a glimpse of the lights in the lounge room or like a candle, so you kind of can peek into it. But it's quite open plan. You literally open straight into the house, but it's very open. I think the last architects before we moved in, they were sort of sustainable architects, so it's all kind of very open. It's got there's no heating or anything like that. It's got like louvers everywhere, and it's all on sort of solar and water tanks. So it's very much about light and space. So I guess when you walk in, you see nature and light is the first thing probably.
How do you feel when you walk in?
I always feel very calm, and I think again it's just that open space. Yeah. You walk in and I feel happy to come home because it feels it just has a lightness and a calm to it.
And so it's all quite open. Is that intentional? Is that why you bought the place? Do you like to live as a family all together, or how old are your kids?
Well, the kids are downstairs.
Okay.
I mean, which is actually great. You walk in and then our bedroom is off to the left, overlooking the sort of front garden. And then there's a back deck that we live on, and there's dining room and all of that in the kitchen. And then you go down the stairs and there's a rumpus room and 2 bedrooms.
Perfect.
Which is great because, you know, they're teenagers now. Yeah. And so they need their own space down there, and they've got friends over. So we literally can't hear them, even though it's just a set of stairs.
Wow. When
they have all their friends over, it's just like, what kids?
What does your home sound like?
I think in summer it sounds a lot like cicadas and birds, and because it's quite inside outside, so we often have the back doors open. We're either we've got sort of couches on the deck and inside, so you're sort of living in both spaces. So definitely sounds of nature. At nighttime you can hear the waves crashing too. So
beautiful.
But mostly there's a lot of music on in our house.
What do you play?
Well, it's funny, my husband, you know how you get the Spotify thing and it tells you how old you are?
Yeah, I haven't done it. I can't bear to do it because I'd be 100.
Well, I'm 72 and I was horrified. And my husband's 23 or something on his.
Oh, you're kidding.
Because he sees himself, he's a bit of a DJ, so he's always like mixing tunes. So often you hear him playing whatever he's playing, that sort of house music, which is fun because we love dancing around. But I'm 72 and I think that's because I listen to Nina Simone a lot. Like I get I'll play Baltimore over and over again and I think she's taken me down. Nina's made me 72 because I listen to her a lot. But
we're embracing it.
But yeah.
What does your home smell like?
It smells a lot, actually, incense. And we have candles as well, but I feel like every time I travel or we travel, we bring back incense. And so, my daughter always says, my friends always say the house smells of incense. And I love that sort of smoky atmosphere it gives.
Yeah.
And I have them around the house in different pot plants sort of burning.
And I think it really adds to that memory. So when people come over, like what you just said, the kids saying the house smells like incense, and to have a scent of your home that people connect, I think is beautiful. I remember at Lisa Ho in the shops, they always smelt like I really don't want to mess up the pronunciation, but agent provocateur, that perfume. Because we sold it in the shops. Yeah, the little pink bottles.
Oh, my God, I remember buying that for her. We were in New York and we did a trip and I remember, beautiful, the pink bottle with the black tassel.
Yes.
Very provocative.
And so I will always associate that scent with Lisa Ho and my time in those gorgeous shops.
I can smell it right now.
Do you have the same approach to fashion as you do interiors, or is it completely different?
It's interesting. I think it's got similarities in that, you're expressing yourself in some way and it's it's layered and things collected over time. I feel the same with my wardrobe. If you've got a Gucci loaf you've had for a long time or whatever it is, like I think it's time layers a home as it does your wardrobe.
Definitely.
So, and styling, I think the similarities, that with interiors, if you've got like a red book, that sort of can often frame the room as a red sweater can around your waist. So I think there's a styling element, I think materiality, but I think they do quite different things. I feel like fashion is how you express yourself in the world that day and your home is where you come to sort of recover from being in the world in a way. So
I love that.
I just think they're doing different things as a person.
Yeah.
So they do different things.
Have your kids picked up on this? Are they interested in a sense of their own style?
My daughter wants to be an interior designer or interior architect.
Wow.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
She's always, as I did as a kid, I was always like redoing my own spaces all the time. And I still will spend hours. Like I think it's a bit of if I'm procrastinating, I'll just go and restyle a little part of my home or for ages. I go down a rabbit
still
hole.
Productive.
I feel like it is. Creativity takes so many forms. And my daughter does the same thing. She's always reworking her space or the space downstairs. And now, with no pushing from me at all, but she's just, that's what she wants to do, which is really nice. My son has followed more he wants to be an animator in animated film or that space, which is what my husband does. So I don't know.
You both have really cool jobs. Do your kids think you're cool?
No. No. I mean, my daughter does Pilates with me every morning, so that's good. I'm not embarrassing. Although she said I make too many noises in Pilates. Like I get feedback.
Well, it's nothing like a child to bring you back down to earth.
She's going to be in Paris and one of her friends said, "Why don't you meet her in Paris?" I was like, "No, it's Poppy's trip. She needs to just have her time there. And no one wants their mum coming to Paris." And Poppy was like, "You're not a mum, you're a mamacita." I was like, "Oh, that's a good thing?" So I don't know.
Yes, I am.
I'm happy to be a mamacita. It sounds cool.
We're going to Paris. After the break, Genevieve touches on her design ethos. It's not just about what it looks like, it's about how it makes you feel. I want to change things up a gear now because I want to find out more about what you've done that is perhaps fashion adjacent, because you're not just a fashion designer. You have worked on products and projects that are not just creating your own fashion line or a fashion line for a brand. So what else have you worked on? Are you working on?
Well, I'm in a really interesting chapter, I think, of my career right now. Since sort of departing Ginger and Smart a few years ago now, I've learnt that creativity is more than just fashion for me. And I think being inside fashion for what was, 20 years of Ginger and Smart and then, 10 years with other brands, you're in the system, you're in fashion, you're just in the world all the time. And I think, and I'd say this about any industry and the same with interiors, like sometimes standing on the edge of an industry looking back, you have a different perspective. Yeah. And I think my perspective on fashion, which I've been my whole life, and I'm still working in fashion as well, but I think even just understanding what fashion means to people and what it is actually doing. Like it's
what
really.
What do you think it means to people?
Well, I think it's about connection, like with yourself. I think it's very sensory, just like your home is. I think people don't fall in love with a jacket. They fall in love with how it makes them feel. Yeah. It's very much, or even a colour. Like, do they really love the colour? Does it remind them of something? Does it make them feel something that's a good memory? Like, I think it's very personal. Fashion is very personal. I mean, I, for 30 years, have been dressing people in things that they wear out to present themselves that day in whatever they're doing. And that's, you're on their body in a way. So it's very personal. Yeah. And you don't, when you're in it, you're just sort of doing it. But I think I'm realising now, and because now I'm doing other creative projects and exploring other things, like, I did airlines, and I'm doing things for hotels and restaurants. And
tell us a bit about that for people who don't know. What have you done for airlines? Because I find it fascinating.
Well, I did the new uniform for Jetstar, which launched last year, I think. So
that's incredible.
Yeah. It was such an experience, just even understanding how the pilots want to feel. And at the end of the day, the pilots want to feel like they're on a Gucci runway. As they're getting off the plane, they want to feel like everybody else wants to feel. They want to feel slick and together and, but unfortunately they had to drive a plane for 8 hours before that. So there's all the things like where they have to reach to, see, I don't know any of the terminology, but, the things.
No, I completely understand what you're saying. If you're sitting that long, you want to make sure that you look good when you stand up and walk off the plane. But you're right, you can be comfortable and reach without restriction.
And you feel the best you can. And obviously, the cabin crew the same. They want to feel great. They want to feel cool. And I really enjoyed taking what I've learnt in fashion and applying it to things beyond just the fashion bubble I lived in. Yeah. This is people who really have to do very different jobs, and it's all the same. It's fit, it's proportion, it's colour, it's fabrication, it's longevity. Yeah. It's all the same things. It's just a different world, and that's been really exciting. Yeah, and I've been working on a capsule collection for boutique hotels and restaurants.
What does that look like, a capsule collection for hotels and restaurants?
Well, it came about because a friend of mine was opening a restaurant in Bondi and said, can you help me? I can't find anything for the front of house team to look good. And I was like, I'll have a look and send you some. And I just couldn't find anything. Yeah. But I'd been working with Cargo Crew, who's a company in Melbourne who make things for restaurants and like aprons, and they're really sort of big in the workwear group. Yeah. And I know Felicity, and I rang her and said, I just, a friend, I can't find. She just rang me the next day and said, why don't we do this? Do what? She said, why don't we do a fashion-led capsule that we can take to really beautiful hotels and restaurants and wellness spas around the world? Yeah. And so we did. And so it's very fashion-led.
That is genius. It is so clever because they do have to wear a look that represents who they're working for. And particularly in hospitality, I think part of being hospitable is presenting well.
Well, it's your brand language in a human being. When someone greets you at the front desk of a hotel, that is the first expression of the brand. Exactly. And they have to be wearing something that you go, oh, I like that jacket, or gosh, what's that fabric? So we've done like seersucker and all these kind of cool fabrics, which I've always loved. And also it's doing men's as well, which I love. So, and I love interiors. So, I got to sort of jump into hotel interiors and restaurants and understand that what they wear is part of the choreography of a restaurant. It's the music, it's the lighting, it's the scent. Yeah. And in uniforms is part of that choreography. It's just a part of how the brand is expressed.
Definitely.
Which is really what I've been doing for 30 years. But now it's, I don't know, it's really great to be, taking what I do and putting it in different parts of the world.
It's quite exciting because I think so many of us, regardless what industry we're in, we do get to a point where you can master your craft and think, well, what next?
Yeah. Well,
how can I use this or do this in a different way? It's nice to be challenged. Is there a space in a hotel or a restaurant that you thought, this is really me?
Actually, the Khalil up in Brisbane,
isn't it fabulous?
They it's so beautiful, and they have picked up on the uniform collection, so that was a really nice. I was like, because I also love your hotel so much, so that was really lovely. And I love Gimlet in Melbourne as just as a restaurant. I think everything, the coasters, the music, the dance of it all.
So Genevieve, I really want to know a bit more about your perspective on moving through a creative industry or industries, because you have had parts of your career where you have worked somewhere for 10 years. You have had parts where you have had your own brand. You collaborate with brands. How have you navigated moving through as a creative?
I think curiosity is really important, and for me, that satisfies I'm a curious person, so going from working with a big sort of like a cultural institution on wardrobing, I get to understand what happens there and in that space and how humans want to feel when they're there. And then with the airlines or with, I think collaboration to me, I love because it's a different part of my brain that's working. So for me, I love working with other creative teams and understanding that business and the people within that team. It's a lot to do with relationships. So I think that idea of, I like connecting with other humans. I like working with people. I love understanding other people's businesses or brands. And then it's the same, like I still take what I do and I know and I love, which is fashion and design and 30 years of understanding, proportion, which is across all of them. Everybody, if it's an airline uniform or whatever it is, it's often about proportion that people don't even realise. So I think because that's also hardwired, as I'm still learning all the time, that my natural curiosity about other industries and people has been really important to navigate my way through. And I'm just finding this new sort of more free stage of my career where I can really collaborate with other people and understand is really satisfying. And I think, so that's helped me. I just have to stay curious. Yeah. I like learning still, and I like stepping into a new team and understanding, and then, but it's also important for me to have a constant as well, which I'm working on a project as well, which is my own, which is nice as well. So it's really lovely to wake up in the morning and there's lots of things going on and it's not always the same thing. And that I'm loving, like what am I going to work, which one am I going to work on today? And they all sort of tie together. But I'm also I'm lucky enough to really pick and choose and work with people that I can, if I don't feel it, I really need to feel the connection with the person or the team as a person and know that it's going to feel easy, not easy, everything's challenging, but just needs to have that ease and flow. And I can always feel that early on. So,
Absolutely. It's so refreshing to hear the way you described collaborating, because these days there's so much focus on collaborating between brands, and my brand will help your brand and we'll build a super brand. But really, you're bringing it back to, this is about people. These are the people I want to work with, the people who I can create with to make products to help even more people. It's a really lovely approach that I think we forget so often, that it's not just about a brand, it's about the fulfillment you get with working with a particular team or creating a garment that will make someone feel amazing. Yeah.
And materiality. I mean, someone I've been working with was really interested in working with future technology with fabrication, which I'm so into. So I loved knowing that we walked down this path together where we're working with fabrics that are they're really just being developed now from a, circularity perspective and performance and how people are going to feel. So I can satisfy all of that I'm still so interested in all of that. And so that feels good, but also knowing that partner was, because I know they're interested in that, they're sort of, we've got similar values, I suppose. I think that comes back to that too. Like if they're interested in sustainability or circularity or longevity, well, we have this on the table. There's already values that we have. So, it's meant to be when you hear those words.
Do you have a uniform of your own, or do you change what you wear all the time?
Interesting. I think I do. I think I didn't think I did. I think just from having a brand for so long, you move with every season, you're doing something else. And I think that's been the other thing about stepping away from seasonal collections and shopping my own wardrobe, and the things I hold on to and the things I, give away or pass on. Or they look at my wardrobe now. I have a lot of jackets, and I always did love jackets even, as a teenager. So a lot of coats for winter. I really love cashmere. So I sort of have ridiculous amounts of cashmere and crazy amounts of leather as well. I'm like, how have I got 17 pairs of leather pants? That's ridiculous. How embarrassing.
What is your wardrobe storage like?
Oh my gosh, don't mention it. That is,
Do you have a system, or is it just cram in as much as you can?
I've had to have a system, which, I swap it out every season. So I'll bring my winter things out, and I'll be like surprised to see it all again. Like, oh my God, I love all those knits.
Old friends.
Yeah, I have to have it, not see it for 6 months for it to be, I have my holiday sort of storage, and I have to, because otherwise, it all sits there, and you come summer, you think you need something new. So I feel like if I bring it, I hold on to the beautiful fabrications, the silks. And my mum, our mum, collected silk blouses. She just, wherever she went, she'd buy secondhand always. So, everything from like Rodney Clark, who was an 80s Australian designer, who I was, friends with Sophie growing up. And it's one of the reasons I think I went into fashion, was just being in that world. But or to, an old Versace silk taffeta shirt. She just had so many, all the waist silk shirts. So she collected silk and cashmere and beautiful wool coats. And I remember her, she'd be like, feel this is wool, this is silk. We don't wear poly, really understanding materiality is, and I think that's another difference with interiors. I feel like interiors is always, you sort of know the provenance of the marble or the wood.
They
talk
about
about
that. Importance placed on it. Yeah, people want to know.
They want to know where that wood is from. They want to know the glass or the tiles from Puglia. Yeah. It's part of it, but with fashion, it doesn't seem, I think fashion could learn a lot from interiors in that sense. Like, where's the cashmere from? Where's the silk from? It should be part of the story of the garment.
I think so too. And there are some garments that you have created for Waverley Mills. Yeah. Speaking of Provenance, I only learnt recently that they really are everything in Australia, which is amazing. And they're based in Tasmania, and occasionally they will send some things to the mainland to do, but that's as far as it goes. And I think that's beautiful.
Well, it's heirloom pieces, 152 years is just a really long time to survive and thrive, really. I mean, working with them was so humbling, and it was the perfect, stepping back into fashion and materiality and textures again. I think just seeing the process. So the sheep are within 15-kilometre radius generally. Yeah. So the wool comes in these bales of wool, and then all the processes are under the same roof. And these really old machinery, and some is super, new as well. But just every process, the combing and the spinning, and there's someone who just dyes all the colours in little glass pots just so hands-on. It's all dried in the sun. It was just beautiful, and the quality is just, I don't know, I feel like you can almost feel Tasmania you can feel that provenance deeply. It was so humbling to step into that space.
Don't they even have a loom that they still use from the 50s?
Yeah. Talking of good design, I mean, the design, it even looks cool as well, that machine. Like, it looks like a spaceship. Like, the buttons are all cool. It's just, it's a real lesson. It was a real back to, this is what craft and design is really about. And because they're more known for interiors and rugs, they approached me because they wanted to do a line of wearables. Yeah.
And so what did you design for them? For our listeners, I know, obviously, coveting, but what did you design?
Well, it was just a capsule of so 3 pieces really.
Yeah.
So it's a scarf and a wrap and then a cape.
Yeah.
So it was inspired by the idea of like energy. So the colours. The good thing about working with them was they were happy and they were excited to work on new ways of doing things as well. So rather than wearing a block coloured scarf, it was about, for example, the red scarf goes, I think there's 16 shades of red. So it looks like the light's falling on the scarf. But this amazing colour technician we discussed all the colours. I would send swatches down, dyed all the different colours, and then they've woven it together so it just looks like the lights like sort of brushed across it like a painting. So that was incredible. So that was the scarf. And then there's like a shorter wrap which is super fringy and fun. It's got like fringing down the vertical side rather than the ends. So when you put it on, it just feels quite textural and glamorous.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And then there's a cape which I don't know, it feels like a superwoman cape. You can sort of belt it, or like I've worn it to art galleries. I've worn it after Pilates. It's just like a piece. I wear it at home to work sometimes. It's like a big cape. But they're all unisex as well. So
I love a cape. It's like a really chic hug.
Yes. Yes.
That's how I feel about a cape.
Oh my gosh. It is a chic hug. Yeah.
When you are designing, do you design for yourself what you would want to wear, or are you designing for other people? And if it is other people, do you have a customer in mind or a wearer in mind?
That is so interesting. I feel like I design more for how I want to feel than how I want to look, because I think that comes first. Yeah. And also how I think maybe other people want to feel. Yeah. So I think as a designer, I went through what I want to wear, and I think that's quite limiting. Just because what you want to wear, it's body shape, it's what I was doing, it's the job I had. It's very kind of siloed. But I think when it comes to how people want to feel is what I lead with now a lot more, like materiality, like for cashmere, how I want it to feel on my skin is, I think most people want to feel held and beautiful. And if somebody wants to feel scratchy and polyester, they can have that. But for me, I feel like most people want to feel, especially when it's against your skin. Yeah. So I think I'm led more by that now.
I really love that. And especially we're talking before about the importance of material and buying across different brands, regardless of price point or, I guess, relevance in the zeitgeist. Buying for material and buying for quality is so key, especially these days. I want to know that we can, whether it's fashion or interiors, that something will wear well, or I can clean it properly, or I can just really live with it. And I find the natural fabrics typically hold up better.
They age well too. There's nothing wrong with things aging over time.
Exactly.
You know? Things become softer. Cotton might soften. Silk becomes great after you wash it a few times. It's even better. You know, things, I think, and that was working with Waverley Mills as well. The materiality really was a major player in terms of the design, because I wanted a certain red, and I couldn't get that red because of the undertones of the wool.
Really?
It really was like, no, this is the red you're going to get. And I love that red now because it was less blue. It's also slightly more warm, and I love that. It has this glow of, it was just what the materiality wanted it to be. That's what the wool was, because it's also natural. But, and I think that's the thing with natural, even in your home, you know, things age well if it's good to start with.
Exactly. They tell a story.
Yeah.
Next, Genevieve's mystery drawer moment. And let's just say she did well not to cry. Well, I know that you have brought in a mystery item today. So we love it when guests bring in something from, we call it the mystery drawer, but it could be a room, it could be your house, it could be a story. What have you brought in to share?
Oh, it's in my pocket. It's so little. And I didn't mean to find this, but I did find this. It's actually, well, I just put it there.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
I'll have a look.
And actually, it literally was from a drawer. So my mother wore arpège by Lanvin, and she used to, when she finished her perfumes, she put them in her scarf drawer, and they were usually silk or wool scarves because that sort of scented everything, or in her underwear drawer. So when she died years ago, I found that in one of her drawers. She used to just keep perfume bottles that were old, and so I've kept, somehow it stayed with me. And I think the story of Arpège as well, it was Jean Lanvin, she was a French fashion designer in the 20s. Yeah. She came up with a perfume, and her daughter named it. She said, "Oh, it smells like an arpège," which is an arpeggio, so lots of notes. And so it's about notes and music, and because it smells like 1,000 things. At first, it smells
still
quite
smell
foreign.
this
I can, I can still just.
Of course, it's beautiful, and this is the most elegant, compact bottle.
Isn't it gorgeous?
The shiny black and the polished gold.
Yeah. I've no idea what era that was from, probably 80s. But yeah, my dad used to bring it home from her when he travelled. But yeah, the scent takes me straight back. And I would never wear it because it's her scent. Yeah. And I've never actually smelt it on anyone else. But I don't know. I found that behind a picture of her today, so I don't know. It sort of ends up in my house in drawers or somewhere. But I smell it, and and smell is so important to me with my home or with what I wear or with So it's, I don't know. It's special, and it literally has been in my drawer.
You nailed the brief. I got to say, nailed the brief.
I was looking around, and then I just was like, "What's that?" Yeah, but it's precious to me because. It's precious because there's nothing left in there. It's just what remains. I think there's something in that space too. It's not like a full bottle. It's an empty bottle, and I don't know. Reminds me when she'd come home from dinner and she'd smell like dinner parties and arpège, and that smell when you kiss your children goodnight. I can just remember that.
Thinking back to my childhood, Mum had this outfit. The top was velvet and it was black with these like glittery sparkles all over it. She had these glossy red nails, and it was peak 80s.
Wow.
And I thought she was so elegant. And she wore Coco Chanel when she would go out. And even now, the smell of it reminds me of her. I don't think she wears it anymore, but I can't wear it because it was her scent.
Yes. Yeah, it only smells the same way on her. And you want it to remain in your memory about your mum.
Exactly. Yeah. My mum's very much still with us. Don't worry, Mum. But I love that about scent. Do you have your own signature scent?
I used to, and now I really just try different things. I keep wearing my husband's perfumes for some reason. Yeah. I don't know. And I went to India a couple of years ago, and I thought I got sucked into this place where I bought all these pure oils like amber and all these. And I thought on the way home, I thought, oh my God, I can't believe I spent like $900 on oils. I've been so done. I was in Varanasi by myself. Anyway, they're so precious because they're the pure oils. So I've got them all in a sort of a crystal dish in my bathroom, and I put the tiniest bit on, and it's all day. It just smells, and it's an oil, so I feel really lucky. They're so precious.
A bargain.
Yes, and they're so precious. I mean, I won't be going back to Varanasi for a long time, and they're lovely. So I mix the oils now for different scents. Yeah,
beautiful. So we have a series of questions that we like to ask all our guests, and we mix them up, but let's get into it. Here we go. At your place, and knowing you live near the beach, are you shoes on or off?
Oh, shoes off, not because I have a rule, but because no one wears shoes mostly.
Great. How about, what is one thing that is always fresh in your home?
Well, usually greens from the garden. I just, clip. I don't really have flowers anymore. I usually just have greens, yeah.
They last longer?
They do, and I like the green. It sort of works for the house.
How about then, on the same line as fresh, bed sheets? How often would you change your bed sheets?
How often do I change them? Like buy new ones? Or
no. Are you on a weekly cycle? Some people are on like an every 2 days change your bed sheets.
Well, minimum weekly for sure. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know who's doing it every 2 days. That's a little intense.
I feel like I did before children, but no. We just, shower before bed and, no, weekly.
We're talking about home scent before. So do you do incense over candles all the time?
No, I mix it up. The candle I'm loving at the moment is actually one the raconteur did a partnership with House of Arras, the sparkling from Tasmania. And they sent me a candle, but it's like sea salt and sage, and it's all these really different. And it kind of smells like Tasmania, but I love that at the moment. So I've got that burning in the house all the time.
So you burn it all the time, or just for guests?
Well, I found it this morning in my daughter's room. She'd taken it down and she'd fallen asleep, and I was like, it's still on in the morning. So that one's gone pretty much. So we're getting another one of those. But no, with guests, because I'm often cooking, I don't really like incense and candles with food. I think that just throws you off a bit. So usually when people, unless it's just drinks, I'll definitely have candles more than incense. Incense is more when I'm home, just, during the day, or incense is too much, I think, when you go out with the smoke. So, candles when people come around for drinks, but no scent when it's a dinner party. I just think it's too much.
I agree.
Yeah.
Tell me about a design fail that you have had in any home you've ever lived in, where you think back and go, oh, my God, why did I do that?
Well, a design fail. I had a beautiful white leather couch, and then I fell pregnant. So literally, I remember following year it had beetroot sort of fingerprints all over it and everything. That was more like a purchasing fail, I think.
And is there a design moment in interiors that you wish would come back?
Well, it's funny. My husband brought me back a chandelier. He went on a surf trip to Argentina, and this is when I knew I had to marry him or propose to him. But he came back, and I picked him up from the airport, and under one hand he had a surfboard, and the other hand he had a box which was tinkling, and it was a chandelier. And I'm like, it's been under the house because I haven't been feeling chandeliers, and now I'm like, I'm going to put it back up in the bathroom and just have it above the bath. But it's a beautiful 1920s one. So
the glamour.
Not that I wish chandeliers maybe for me, I was wishing a chandelier moment would come back, and I feel like I'm going to have a chandelier moment. Yeah.
To you, what makes a home beautiful?
I think it's the energy of the house when you walk in, and that can be, the scent or the people that live there. Or I think I felt that when we bought a house. I think it's the energy of so many parts that makes it beautiful to me, and the layers of memory. Yeah, I think.
We touched on wardrobes before. Are you a neat, put everything away kind of person, or are you a bit more casual with things around the house?
Not naturally. I definitely have to work at it because I get excited about different things or outfits. So I'll go, oh, wow, everything's just everywhere suddenly because I kind of, it's like interiors as well. You kind of get excited and things move around. So no, I'm not naturally neat, but I've had to really make sure I thoughtfully put things away after I play with them. So yeah.
Now you've mentioned before that you think one of the hallmarks of a really well-designed or a great home is when you have people over and the wine drinking happens a little later than anticipated, and people linger and are just really enjoying themselves in a space. So what kind of a host are you?
I don't think I'm a neat host, like everything's perfect at all. I feel like things just sort of unfold. I think when people stay longer, like they're playing with the candle wax and there's like, glasses and it's just the tunes are playing and it just feels warm. I think it's just like entertaining is like layering, I suppose. There's just layers of different courses of whatever, and it's not too crazy. I never let anyone wash up. I hate, I find when someone goes to wash up, it's like that's the end of the night. So I'm like, just ignore that. Don't want to go near the kitchen. Just leave it.
Guests aren't allowed. Also, I don't like it when everybody gets up from the table to go and clean something and then, there may be two people left and it's just the atmosphere's gone.
It's always the same people that do the washing up and the same people that stay to stay. So,
naming names.
I'm not a washer-upper. My husband is though. When we go somewhere, he'll be in the kitchen. I'm like, oh, you good boy in there doing the washing up. And everyone goes, he's so amazing. He washed up. I'm like, yeah.
How do you hope people feel when they come to your place?
I hope people feel like they can breathe. I hope they walk in and do what I do when I walk in and see, the date palm and just walk in and sort of breathe. I hope they feel they can be themselves there and feel comfortable and go and explore my stack of old poetry books or disappear and have a look at things of the art. I just want people to feel like they can just, be themselves.
Well, Genevieve, I hope that you felt that you could be yourself here in our home, here at The Edit. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming over and chatting with me. It's been such a joy getting to know you more and the person behind the design. It's been an absolute delight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been lovely stitching interiors and fashion together because it's all a world of creating beauty, really, isn't it? And why people love beauty. So
it sure is.
Thank you.
It was incredible seeing Genevieve again after all these years and catching up on everything she's been doing. I love how she's gone from working backstage at fashion shows to designing front-of-house uniforms for hotels. If blending fashion and interiors is your thing, scroll back to the episode with Brie Lynn Turton, where we chat everything about shopping vintage, buying new, and how to mix it all together. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe to Home Beautiful on YouTube and follow us on your favourite podcast app. We'll see you next time.
This is an R Media podcast.